Today on the Dodge Garage download, Mario Bonfante joins us. Now, Mario is a racer who was in a terrible accident, wound up as a quadriplegic, but that doesn't stop him. He's actually working on a program over at the Radford Racing School to teach people how to drive on racetracks using hand controls. We're going to talk with him. Plus, Stellantis has a program that allows folks to take advantage of opportunities to get behind the wheel, even if they're disabled. It's called the DriveAbility Program, and we're going to learn all about that today on the Dodge Garage download. You've got a great story. I mean, you've got a lot of publicity for the things that you've done. Kind of give us the elevator pitch. What's the Mario story in 60 seconds?
I'm still working it out, seeing where it's going, and it's definitely been a journey. So, I mean, 60-second pitch is going to lead into an hour, so probably a couple of days. But I just am trying to do the best I can with what I got. Used to race motorcycles, broke my neck when I was 17. Wasn't done, designed a set of hand controls, and just wanted to go racing still. So I started racing cars and figuring out different avenues to do that with. And now just really, well, when I actually made the first video to get sponsors, realized then, and I put that on YouTube, that there was a lot of people like myself that wanted to go out fast as well and have fun, do the same things, and not just sit in the house. So at that point, the whole goal and direction and derivative of everything I've been working on, I also wanted to go still race, but I wanted to help other people race too and do what they wanted to do still. So
yeah, well, and obviously you couldn't do it on two wheels at that point. So is that when you segued to cars, or had you been racing cars a little bit prior to the accident?
No, I always wanted to race cars after my career two wheels, but just kind of prematurely graduated when I was 17. So got my pro license when I turned 16 and signed deals when I turned 17 for kind of the rest of my career, and took a quick detour on a bicycle and ended up taking a dirt sample, doing some dirt jumps, breached contract, and now I'm sitting here talking to you and enjoying a nice day with these guys.
You know, back in the days, you know, before Radford was the official school for Dodge and SRT, you know, we had the SRT track experience, and that was where I was. I was there for 9 years. And we would occasionally have somebody that would bring their own hand controls to do a track day with us. And they had the, you know, the old fashioned kind of the push pull things on there. Yours looks a whole lot more complicated, complex than that.
It's as simple and complex as it can be. So I simplified what I needed it to do. And it's just essentially everything you can do with your feet and your hands, all in your hands and without your fingers. So they're pretty simple as far as functionality. And just twist throttle on the right hand side, push forward to downshift, pull back to upshift, and then the left-hand side articulates forward to brake. So it's on I designed like a gyro bearing. So the brake's still mechanically attached to the brake pedal, and always want to maintain being able to stop the car. And made this gyro so I can actually turn it and trail brake and shift and give it throttle, throw out the corner and all that. So just basically use gravity and geometry and everything else as far as physics go to make the controls work as best as possible. And being that my hands don't work, I have little spools and clamps that hold my hands in place so I can actually use both arms to help maneuver the car and not use all my strength and wear myself out like the old set where you don't have very much control with one hand on the wheel and one hand on the gas and the brake and wearing yourself out. So I'm sensitive to using just one hand to steer, especially being a quadriplegic, not having all the muscle function up top.
What about the feel of the car? That's always such a subtle point, and to take somebody from like when they're just a novice doing their first track days and they don't, you know, we talk about seat of the pants feel, right? How do you get your seat of the pants feel through hand controls? Do you, or do you have to adapt some other way?
I mean, I think I've kind of naturally have that inclination of when my vehicle is going to step out and where the limit is, just from racing my entire life in different variables of motorsport. But for the most part, I'm a human pendulum. Where's my body being thrown? Because I can't physically hold myself in that position. So that's kind of how I read what's going on with the car. And then if I'm not being thrown to the right so much and I'm going left, I'm probably stepping out. So it's and if my thought was getting a little slippery or a little loose, and it's just you just kind of got to gauge it and use different, I guess, senses that you have. You're given abilities to judge certain situations to make the right choice.
Let's talk about the school program. What did you guys have to do to adapt to Mario's situation?
We had our basic set that you spoke of, outfitted him. We have to make some minor adjustments to that, but this whole fact-finding mission is to work our way into his development of his product and merge the two is really what we're getting into. So if anything, it's an R&D program, right? And it also allowed us to know on the track too, capabilities of switchbacks and turns and what works. And then we have a skid car as well that we're going to work on outfitting when we do this, so that you can come here and do the same class that anyone else would do. And that's the goal. I mean, I'll tell you what, I'll be honest, we learned some things here, okay? Even from the fact that we have the wrong door handles on our bathrooms. So we're learning, John, and that's the way I want to put it. It's a great thing to have someone that we trust, that has a background that we love, and Mario, that can give us an honest opinion on how to get better, and that's what we're about.
Okay, Mario, I got to ask you this, because I've got some friends who've been injured in the past, and they've always told me that there was a point after the injury that they were just, I don't want to say they gave up, but they were so just beat down, you know, they were really afraid of what was next, and they weren't sure how to move forward. And these are car friends of mine too. So, I mean, they're all very similar to people to us, right? They're all type A personalities. We all love being out there. We all love the smell of fuel. This gives those folks an opportunity, right? It gives them a chance.
Yeah, and that's kind of the whole basis behind my company. Keep 'em spinning is the motto. KES Industries is the name, but it's just whatever you're into. I'm into racing cars, or going fast and having fun. So we developed a way to do that with everything with 4 wheels or 2 wheels or a motor in general. But if you want to go fishing, if you want to go take pictures, if you want to go rock climbing or ride a bicycle, ride a motorcycle, we want to figure it out. We want to help people just figure out how to continue to chase their passion and their dreams and accomplish them, achieve whatever they're trying to get to in life. So there's no reason we can't figure out whatever they want to do. It's just a matter of how to do it. The technology we have these days available to us and all the brilliant people around us. And it's always a matter of money, right? So that's just always the big question, and how we're going to get there. But that's another step.
When we can get people out to the track, even if they've never done it before, you know, their eyes go from here to, oh my goodness. And if they've already here, then they go, you know, to a whole new level. When you can open that experience up to anybody, now you've done something special. And that's worth, you know, that's worth tooting your horn on.
That's what it's about. And like you said, and a lot of times people lose hope, or they lose their swag, or however you want to call it. There's 10 different ways.
Identity.
Their identity. That's a great one. They lose their identity and they're beat down. And you're right. When they come here, and we do have a welcoming arms attitude, but when they come here and they drive, I have never, that's the luckiest part I have of this job, ever had someone go, meh, it was okay.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that doesn't happen.
To be able to have someone that maybe has gone through something traumatic in their life, or something that changed their identity, and they can come here and find themselves again and be part of this and see what we're doing, that's what we care about most, by far.
Mario, let me ask you, if you're going to teach people that have different, you know, physical abilities how to do this, I know how to, you know, I talk about slow in, fast out, right? I talk about looking through the corners and accelerating, you know, off the apex and whatnot. What types of things are you going to have to say differently to somebody using a hand control system?
Not much. It's pretty much the same thing. I mean, it's just it's all transfers over. It's all racing. It's all transferring the weight of the car and whatever car you're in, and how you do it. So you're not using your feet, you're using your hands, and your hands are obviously, usually they're connected to the wheel, and your feet are connected to the pedals, but now you're using it all at the same time. So a lot of the able-bodied drivers that have tested them, that are professional drivers across the board, from rallycross to road course, they are like, this is so intuitive. Everything's right at my hands. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to use my feet. It's just like, so I'm really curious to see, once I do get them all equipped and things all set up, what the instructors and what actual able-bodied people and other drivers are to think of that, because it's it looks very complicated, but it's so intuitive that you wouldn't really even, it doesn't take much to think about it and apply it, because it's just going off of gravity and physics. If you're stopping, you're being going forward. So you're pushing the brake and you're downshifting. If you're on the gas, twisting, you're pulling back because of the G-forces. So it's just basic common knowledge. Once you understand that, you're off to the races, literally.
Yeah, I think there's one other. He loves it. Off to the races.
That was great, dude. That is a home run right there.
Yeah,
You can bet I'm going to edit right there. Bonk. And that is a perfect segue to talk about the Stellantis DriveAbility program. And we've got Amy Baker on the line who's going to tell us all about it. And Amy, number one, thanks for joining us. And it really is an exciting program, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, we're very excited that we have this program that we offer through Stellantis to help people who, have a disability be able to still get behind the wheel of a product that they want to be driving. And we help with assistance towards that adaptive equipment that they might need in order, to be able to drive.
Yeah, and obviously the stuff that that Mario is using is a little more specific for a motorsports application. But tell me a little bit about the things that we've got going for people that just need to go to the grocery store.
Our vehicles can be equipped with anything from a wheelchair ramp. If you need, if you're in a wheelchair and you need that full capabilities to be able to enter and exit the vehicle, drive the vehicle, down to, maybe you just need hand controls. Again, some of the knobs, maybe you have dexterity problems. It's, equipment that can go on the knobs to really help you.
We build some amazing performance cars at Dodge. And of course, that's what we usually talk about on this side of the world on the DodgeGarage download. But there's no reason that someone that isn't completely able-bodied can't enjoy these cars, right?
Exactly. And that's really the goal of the program is you should not be limited by the vehicle, of your active lifestyle, because that's one thing we realize, right? These individuals, they are very active. So they want a vehicle that reflects that. So we want to ensure that they have the equipment that they need to be able to, for instance, get into an SRT product. They shouldn't be limited, by their vehicle choices. So again, we make sure that we're working with the different equipment manufacturers to ensure that, there is adaptive equipment available depending on the need that will allow them to get into those performance vehicles.
Well, it sounds great. How do we find out more? If somebody's watching this right now and says, this is great, I need this, or I have a family member who needs this.
Sure.
Find out more?
So we have a fantastic website that has a ton of resources. That website is scausdriveability.com. So if you're somebody who is, again, maybe, newer to being disabled, you have an elderly family member, we have steps there to kind of guide you through the process, because we understand for some people, right, it can be a little overwhelming in the beginning. And then again, right, those seasoned individuals who, maybe they've already had some vehicles that have been adapted, they know the process. I mean, again, there's information out there for them. And it lists out all of our products and what equipment is available to be adapted to the product, as well as a host of other resources. So again, from, funding and grants and, third-party organizations. So just a wealth of information to help somebody who, might be just starting this journey.
Well, obviously, if you're looking to get on track, we've got to keep paying attention to what the guys are doing over at the Radford School with Mario and with the hand control program that's being developed over there. If you're looking for something for the street, obviously, that's where DriveAbility comes in. Amy, thanks for taking some time to give us the lowdown on that from the Stellantis side.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And thank you for watching. This is the Dodge Garage Download, and I'm John Hammer, and see you next time.